Hello everyone, Garrett Wang here. It's so funny because when I said hello everyone, it was almost the way that Robert Picardo would say that. Hello everyone, Robert Picardo here. And I sometimes find myself falling into the cadence and the pitch of Robert Picardo, probably because it was such a big part of my life growing up, my younger life, I suppose. Not my formative years, of course. I had no idea who he was back then. But sometimes I fall into speech patterns of my friends and acquaintances. It's just bizarre. I'm gonna say that I'm super stoked to be a guest yet again on the cruise next year. I will be on the Un-Conventional Voyage next year. This will be my 4th cruise. Pretty exciting, actually. There are 2 new ports of call, Aruba and Curacao. And for those of you who have little or no knowledge of Caribbean islands, along with the island Bonaire, B-O-N-A-I-R-E, Bonaire, Aruba and Curacao make up the 3 islands known as the Dutch Caribbean. The Dutch Caribbean islands, in my opinion, in my estimation, are better than the other Caribbean islands. And when I say better, I'm talking about the scenery, what you see, the beach, the sand in Aruba, the watercolor in Aruba is a cut above the other Caribbean islands. The Dutch Caribbean islands are cut above the other Caribbean islands. And yes, Bahamas, I'm talking about you. You got a lot of catching up to do. Yeah, they may not be the largest in population, but they're definitely the most beautiful. Hands down. So if that doesn't excite you to go on the Unconventional Voyage, maybe the company that you keep will excite you on going on the Unconventional Voyage. Not only will they rub elbows with moi, but other shiny new actors like Celia Rose Gooding, Christina Chong, but there's also actors you've grown to love over the years. Those actors that are so comfortable, they're like comfort food. Mac and cheese, Denise Crosby, lasagna, The Now Visitor, shrimp and grits, depending on what part of the country you're in. Walter Koenig. Notice I pronounce his name the correct way. Most people pronounce it Koenig. They say Walter Koenig. So they pronounce it incorrectly. The correct way that you would pronounce it in Germany is König, and it means king. King, K-I-N-G, as in monarch. It means king in German. Interestingly enough, my last name, which is also, interestingly enough, mispronounced all the time, W-A-N-G, Wang, in Chinese, means king. So if you attend the Unconventional Voyage, you will be sailing with not 1, but 2 kings. How often can you say that? Probably never. I want to share some more information with you. And this is for those of you out there who are on the fence about being part of a cruise convention, or on the fence about even taking a cruise for the first time. I know there is a lot of people out there who are probably thinking, I could never get myself on some boat in the middle of an ocean where I can't even see the land. Not me. Well, first of all, it's not a boat. It's not a little rowboat. It's not a dinghy. This is a ship. It's a vessel. It's a large vessel. A large enough vessel that it can hold close to 3,000 passengers, over 2,000 crew members. That's a lot of people. Because of physics, yes, if there's rough waters, even on a large ship, you're gonna feel it. There will be some swaying and moving, but there's also ways to combat this. There's Dramamine pills. There are little wristband thingies. There are patches that you can apply to the back of your ear that all combat motion sickness, if it ever comes to that, if it even comes to that. So for those of you who have phobias or who have some nerves about this, some anxiety, I had it too before I went on my very first cruise. I had the exact same anxiety issues running through the back of my head, as they oftentimes do in all of us. So do what you need to do to convince yourself that you can do this, because it is truly a magical experience. That's the best way I can describe it. I can't even put into words your experience that you will have at a cruise convention compared to land-based conventions, which can be fine and cool in their own merit, but going on a cruise-based convention, it's like how the Dutch Caribbean is compared to the rest of the Caribbean. A cut above. That's the best way to put it. Other adjectives other than magical or unique or special, you have to experience it to understand what I'm trying to convey to you. And I do believe it should be a bucket list on everyone's bucket list. And not just, meaning a cruise convention, not going on a cruise, but a cruise convention specifically. Cruises are great, but when you're on a cruise convention, the synergy of both things happening at the same time creates something so unique and different that you'll thank me. That's the best way to put it. You'll thank me later. All right, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing all of you in February next year, cruising to the beautiful, beautiful Dutch Caribbean islands.